Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to be doing another Figma video today, but this time we're going to be designing something together in the spirit of New Year's and sort of this reset period that we're all going through, what we're planning for the year, what things we want to let go of, what things we want to visualize for this year. I thought it would be cool to share with you my process of designing a vision board in Figma. I usually do a desktop version, a mobile version, and one for my iPad so that I can set them as wallpapers to remind me throughout the year what I am visualizing. I also wanted to create something new for this year. I've been using GoodNotes on my iPad for quite a couple of years now. So this year I think I'm going to design a little habit tracker sheet for my GoodNotes, as well as some stickers and just icons that I would want to use within my GoodNotes. So we are going to do all of those things today in this video. If you guys haven't seen my other Figma videos, I'll leave them in the description box below. But okay, let's just go in and jump into designing my vision board. Alright, so this is kind of what I have so far in my Figma. You can see my 2022 vision board. So let's take a look at that. Move my body. This is the most consistently I've gone to Legree throughout my entire time of doing Legree. So I would say that this was a win. Nourish your body and soul. I cooked some of the yummiest, most healthiest and nutritious and hearty and just soul-feeding foods this year. So yes to that. Healthy relationships. I definitely think my relationships saw a lot of growth last year, which is great. Big business goals. I think definitely I am totally on the right track and I'm really proud of that. My first home was the only one that I didn't necessarily achieve the way that I thought that I would. I was thinking about buying an apartment last year, but my plans have sort of changed and I needed to reevaluate whether that was the right thing for me at this time. But at the same time, I did sort of achieve this because I'm in my very first apartment that I've lived in all by myself. I did create a vision board already because I wanted to get something on my phone, but as you can see, I could only fit very few photos into this one. So I wanted to do another one with you guys today where I actually do the full, like as many photos as my little heart desires, just like my 2022 one, but we're gonna do one for 2023. So I'm gonna start out with a desktop frame. If you hit F on your keyboard in Figma, you'll pull up all the different design frames that are available to you. So let's go ahead and actually select a few frames. So we're gonna do one for phone. I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and then we're going to do one for tablet. I have the iPad Pro 11-inch. So these are the three formats that we're going to be creating our vision board in. The next step is you want to hop into Pinterest, hop into Google Images, and find yourself the images that speak to you, that speak to your goals and what you want to feel and look like and achieve for this year. Let's go ahead and just start opening photos that speak to me. A lot of the things that are on my homepage are going to be like fashion, makeup, beauty, that sort of stuff, but I think it's fine to select some of those as well and visualize like what you want to look like and feel like this year. It's your vision board. You can interpret these photos however you want. So for example, a photo like this could mean I want to do more hot girl walks this year. A photo like this means I want to focus on my skin, aka also my gut health, and just have this lovely glow from within. And yes, I understand. This girl is wearing makeup. She's wearing skin makeup. She's wearing blush so she looks like she's glowing, but it doesn't matter. This is literally a vision board that's just for you, so you interpret it however you want. If you see something that you like I want something to do with juice, but it isn't exactly the image that you want, just click into it and then Pinterest will show you a ton more images that are similar to that will probably fulfill what you are looking for. So once you feel like you have a decent amount of photos, you can go ahead and import all of those photos into your Figma by just dragging and dropping them in. So here are all of the photos. I'm just gonna reorganize them a little bit and then make them a lot smaller so that I can put them next to my little desktop and still be able to see both my vision board as well as the images. So I think a lot of these ones that I found so far are focused around health, gut health, fitness, with a couple being around travel. This is what I love about Figma is it's so easy to use because all you have to do now is drag and drop the photos onto your vision board. So I'm just gonna start with my favorites and I'm just gonna drop them in no particular order and sort of just position them around the board how I see fit. I'm also going to come up here and take some of these images. So I'm just gonna select the ones that I want to take. So I'm actually just going to partially undo the crop so that they are more of a regular size, because I think having different sizes and shapes works better for what I'm trying to achieve for this specific vision board. Okay, now that I have all the images here, let's take a look at all of these images and start to either make them bigger or make them smaller so they fill up the whole page. And I'll talk you guys through sort of why I picked the images, because I think that's kind of fun, right? This one is because I do not moisturize enough, and this year I just want to really take care of the biggest organ of my body, which is my skin. So here is me moisturizing the heck out of my legs. I'm gonna look like a golden goddess this year. This next one is sort of just meant for the aesthetic and the feeling that the photo gave me. There's books, there's a notebook, there's a drink, and there's a computer, and there's headphones all on the foot of a bed. And typically this is what my relaxation nights look like. It's me with all these lovely things that I love to enjoy in my bed. So to me, this is a self-care one, and I think that that is going to go hand in hand with my skincare. Speaking of skincare, like I said, this photo just screams like healthy, glowing skin, and that is totally what I want to embody this year. Same with this one, but this one kind of starts to go into fitness a little bit. If you want to move a photo like on top of other photos, you can just go to bring to front or send to back, or you can actually manually drag the layer to above or below whatever photos you want. So since this is starting to go into fitness, we'll put this image next. This image is my hot girl walk image. I don't want too many of the people next to each other though, so I'm gonna actually move this one down. I picked this image because I want to work out at home more. I think I often give myself the excuse of not working out because I'm at home and I don't enjoy it, but like, fuck it, why am I doing that? I can get a great workout in at home, and I want to romanticize the idea of that more this year because I want to do it more. But then of course, I also have images like this, which represents going to like a gym or a workout class. These things are things that bring me joy, so I'm not going to stop doing them. But I think there needs to be a balance, and not going to a workout class today shouldn't be an excuse to not move or exercise my body. Along the same vein, I have this image, which is an image of a girl and her dog in the woods. I definitely want to do more of this year, going on trails and longer walks with Mika, and I think this just embodies like what I want to feel. I'm gonna move the hot girl walk image back because that fits in with the dog walking. And then since we're on this self-care area, let's go into like the health stuff. So I have my green juice, I have this image, and I think a part of what your vision board should do is just help you romanticize you achieving your goals. Water, oh my gosh, I do not drink enough water. So that is a big one for me for this year. And then I'm gonna put this here as well because I wanna take my vitamins more consistently this year. I think something else that is related to this wellness category are relationships. I only really have this one photo, but that's okay. It's a photo of a couple at sunset. And what this represents to me is that I want to be spending more quality time with my partner instead of passive time. It's also one of my goals for the year. I have this image, which to me talks about traveling with friends, doing what I love, but with a friend. So like planning, visualizing, and just having like really chill nights. This is starting to get a little bit into the work area of my life because I just want to spend more time in coffee shops this year and just out of the house. I really loved this quote that I found, so I added this as well. But it says, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." And I think it totally suits that lucky girl mindset that seems to be so popular on the internet these days. Since we're talking about work, we can't forget about YouTube. lots more vlogging this year. I just want to be more real on all my platforms and just really share the things that I'm thinking, the things that I love. So it's looking pretty good so far, and I have a lot of images already, and you can see that I still have a lot of white space. So sometimes what I like to do is just select a group of photos and enlarge them a little bit so that they are taking up more room on my board. I can also start moving certain things around and enlarging them. That way you're not sort of desperately reaching for more photos, and you're just making use of the space a little bit better with photos that you already have. While you're going through and doing this, you can also start to think about like, okay, what are the key feelings that I want? Because you can select certain images and feelings and goals and make them bigger because they're a bigger focus in your life. If you really feel like there are spaces that you can't fill, then you can definitely go and search for photos that specifically will fill those spaces. And something else you can actually do is create maybe a mask so that you can insert the image and make sure that it will fit exactly how you want it to fit. So I created a little box of the shape that I want the image, and then I just put the image on top, select both layers and hit mask. I do talk about how to do this in my Figma how-to video, so make sure you go and check that out. If these last two images aren't in their perfect place, don't worry about it. Like the book one could probably be here, and the gym one, actually, you know what, that might work out perfectly. Okay, let's do this. Mask it, but then move these two around. The book one goes here, and then the gym one goes here, and then this can be brought over. Okay, there we go. That is my 2023 vision board. So now what you want to do is just piece these vision boards together for your iPhone and for your tablet sizes so that you can have these vision boards be as your wallpaper for your iPhone. So you can see this is the really quick one that I made sort of in December, but I'm gonna recreate the one that I made today for my phone because it just makes me feel even more motivated and I like it that much more. Okay, here is the iPhone version of my vision board. There are quite a few photos, so you could get rid of some photos if you want to not have it feel like there are so many photos and now they're really small, but I actually kind of like how this looks, so I'm gonna leave it as is. And a really easy trick that I do to still make sure that my notifications and my time and stuff like that still display really easily on my iPhone is I just create a rectangle the size of the frame and I put it on top of the images, and then I make the rectangle black, but then set the transparency to be quite low, so you can test out a couple, but you can do like 10, or if you want it you can do like 50, but essentially you just want a semi-transparent black box on top of your images so that when you actually use this as a background for your iPhone, the text is still going to display really clearly for you and you're not going to have any sort of visibility issues. I actually think I quite like how 50% looks, so yeah, there we go. Those are my 2023 vision boards. All right, moving on to designing our habit tracker. Let's create a new page for this. You can call it habit tracker. First and foremost, you want to create a frame. You can either create whatever frame size you want, or what you can do is actually go under frame, under the paper one, and select A4. This is one of the most popular sizes that people use on GoodNotes. So you can go ahead and use the dimensions for that. Or if you have a personal preference of the size that you want, so if you want like letter size, or if you want like a 6 size, it's totally up to you how big you want your document to be. And then once I've selected the size, what I'm gonna do is actually click this button here to make it horizontal, because I think that I'm gonna enjoy using these more in the horizontal format rather than the vertical format. I'm gonna first start by collecting some inspiration on Pinterest again of habit trackers, and then we can start designing this together. So first thing I'm gonna do is actually just type onto my sheet all of the things that need to be on here. So like what month it is, I wanna do like habit 1, habit 2, habit 3, habit 4, habit 5. I think I'm gonna just do 5 habits so that it's not overwhelming to try to accomplish all these new habits all at once. I wanna put maybe like a goal and then somewhere just to write down some review comments. Next, I'm just gonna try to lay out what I want that to look like. There are several different ways that I've seen people do habit trackers, and I'm not sure how I wanna do it yet, but let's just give this a go. It's literally gotten dark outside since I started working on this, which, okay, that sounds like it's been a long time, which it has been like a couple of hours, but it's also just because it gets dark at like 4 p.m. still, and it's awful. So this is what I have for my habit tracker. I decided to go with this really bold, almost like magazine feel to the title and the font and stuff like that. This is actually a font that I purchased for a project quite a while ago. The font is called Rupert. I will put the font in the description box if you guys want to purchase it and use it for any of your projects. But as you can see, I went through a couple iterations of like how I want this to look. So this was like the original planning, and at first I really just typed these out because I was like, these are the things that I want. But I actually really enjoyed how this looked. The aesthetic of this, like how it's big. I kind of maybe thought I would want it to be like this, like habit tracker, like some of the other habit trackers that I've seen, but I thought about it and I was like, I don't know if that is gonna work because I still want to keep this almost like calendar-like layout. And then so I started playing around with what that'll look like, and I decided to put my numbers in circles, and I'll show you guys why in a little bit. And then I created this iteration. This was pretty close. I was like, okay, this is like a really good layout of what I wanted, but the sizing and stuff just weren't quite right. I also, because I have the line here vertically aligned in the middle of the text boxes, I thought I wanted to do it the same here, but then I realized it's weird if I do it like this because you would expect a place to write what the actual habit is, and if the line ends up being sort of in the middle, that means whatever you write will not be aligned with the actual habit subtitle. I also, in the next iteration, made things smaller. So like all the subtitles became smaller, the boxes became smaller, just so there's more white space on the page. And then I was testing out 2 different looks. I was testing out one with a box for you to put in what the habit is, and then one with a line. And I decided to go with the line because it just looks cleaner. I tested it out on the iPad and it looked great on the iPad. So this is my final version. I then created this as a duplicate for every single month of the year. And then to finish it off, I decided to create a sticker book. Usually I feel like when you buy a digital planner, they'll give you a sticker book, but I really don't like most of the sticker books that I've seen, like the digital sticker books. So I decided to do something that was very much so my aesthetic. I use little tabs like this in my videos, as well as labels like this in my web designs, and of course I use icons in almost all of my designs. So I thought I would create sort of this digital sticker book that has shapes and icons that I would typically use in digital designs. So the little emotion labels would go in like this month, you tell it how you felt, or you could even put it under goals to say, this is how I want to feel this month. I initially wanted these boxes to say like review of the month, plans for next month sort of thing, but I just left it as this month and next month so that it's more open to interpretation and you can decide what you want to write in those boxes. And then the icons you can use however you want. But yeah, that is my little habit tracker that I built. I did do most of the things with auto layout. So for example, this is an auto layout, this is an auto layout, and each of these individual things are auto layouts. And what I did and how I made sure that the numbers would be centered in the circles and all the circles would be the same height and width. If you just take a number, so like type 1 or 2, and then you hit Shift A to make it an auto layout, you can see that 1 is obviously skinnier than the number 2. So when you look at the width, 1 is 37 width and 2 is 48 width. So what you can do to keep them super uniform is I would just set a fixed width, and then you can do the same for height as well. Do fixed height of 80. When you hover over the frame, you can see that the number is actually not center aligned right now. And so that's when you go into this little panel here. You can choose where you want to put the number. So make sure that you put it in the middle, and then you can create a stroke around the box. So if you want like box numbers, you can leave it as is, but because I wanted them to be round, you can go and change the radius and just max out the radius. So now I have these little numbers with little circles around them. And you'll see that no matter what number I put in there, the circle will always stay the same width and height, and the number will be center aligned as best as possible within those circles. To make sure that they are aligned in your little calendar view, so let's say these are my circles, what I did was actually auto layout each row, and then I selected all the rows and auto layout that, and that just makes sure that there is equal distance between each of the circles, top and bottom and left to right. As for these boxes here, typically when you do an auto layout, it'll automatically put the text in the middle of the box. So for example, if we do goals, auto layout that, you can see when you click the frame that goals is somewhere in the middle of the box. But if you want your text to be somewhere in one of the corners, so let's say in the upper left corner, you make sure that that's selected in your auto layouts. Right now, because the padding left and right and top and bottom are the same, goals is still gonna be in the middle of the box. So what you have to do is adjust the right padding. So let's do like 100 or maybe even 400. Let's make it really easily visible. And then you can adjust the bottom padding to make the box longer. So now you can see goals is actually in the upper left-hand corner of your box. And then what I did was I just put a stroke around the box to make it into a box. If you want this to be a little more like modern, you can make the radius a little higher so the corners are rounded. Or if you wanted a fill box instead of a stroke box, that could look really good as well. So let's say it's a white box or it's a light gray box. So that's how I went about and created all of the different little elements within my habit tracker. I'm so excited to be using this habit tracker this year. Okay, let me quickly show you guys why I decided to go with the circle around the number. So here's one of the iterations that I did. So it's the one where I was testing out whether the box or the line would be better. So I'll just show you guys why I did the circle. Because now if you go into GoodNotes and you select the highlighter, you can actually just highlight each circle to fill them in. You'll have to adjust the thickness of the highlighter. I have it maxed out at 7.7. And if you don't want to sort of like do it by one tap and you actually care that the bubble is filled in, what I would do is just click and hold and then just move your highlighter around until it covers the entire box. All right, I think that's everything for today's video. I hope this was helpful if you want to make your own habit tracker or template for GoodNotes, or if you're looking to build out your vision board for 2023. If you don't want to make your own, I will actually make this habit tracker that I designed in today's video available for you to download. So the link for that and the sticker book will be available in the description box below. This was actually such a fun video to make, and I feel like I really got my creative juices flowing. And I love that I ended up with this digital product that I can actually share with you guys. Like, how cool is that? Thanks again for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to get reminded when I post new videos. If you have any comments or suggestions for anything that I did in this video, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. But other than that, I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!